Hello there, very good evening. This is the weekend edition of Primetime News on TV1 for the news first, where the people come first. I'm Martin Satyanesan. Let's start off with a look at your headlines for this evening.
Newborn twins die at the Kalubowila hospital. Parents allege negligence by hospital administration. Revelation made at COPA regarding setbacks in management at Health Ministry and irregularities in drug procurement. Ordinary level examinations will also have to be postponed, says Education Minister.
අර්බුදය තුළ අධ්‍යාපන විසඳුමක් ලබා නොදීම නිසා තමයි මේ විභාග කල් දැමීම දිගටම ඇවිල්ලා තියෙන්නේ.
Anti-terrorism and online safety bills violate people's sovereignty, says civil organizations and legal community. Lawyers of National People's Power prepare to go to Supreme Court.
මේ ත්‍රස්ත විරෝධී ගැසට් එකයි මාර්ගගත ක්‍රමවල සුරක්ෂිතභාවය පිළිබඳ ගැසට් එකයි ජාතික ජනබලවේගයේ නීතිඥයෝ ලෙස ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණය අපි අභියෝගයට ලක් කරනවා.
The next Aragalaya will begin if you try to suppress social media, says opposition leader.
On to those stories in detail. Minister of Education Susil Premajayantha says the ordinary level examination will also have to be postponed, just as the advanced level exam was. The minister made this announcement when questioned by the media during an event to distribute 2024 school textbooks.
අනිවාර්යෙන් කල් යනවනේ මාසයක් හමාරක් විතර කල් යනවා. එතකොට උසස් පෙළ විභාගයේ කොයි කාලේ වගේ ඒකද විභාග කොමසාරිස්තුමා තමයි නිල වශයෙන් දැනුම් දෙන්නේ.
The Commissioner of Examinations will officially announce it. It will be announced within the next week. It will depend on the exam schedule and the term schedule. We will start professional training in centres island-wide soon after the A-levels are done.
දිවෙන පුරා මධ්‍යස්ථානවල වෘත්තීය පුහුණුව පටන් ගන්නවා.
The ordinary level examinations are getting postponed as advanced level examinations have been postponed.
Why are exams being postponed?
Due to the COVID pandemic and the fuel crisis, educational activities did not take place properly for over 2 years. The resulting exam delay has now affected the O-level and A-level exams.
ආණ්ඩුව කොරෝනා අර්බුදය දඩමීමා කරගෙන
The government used the COVID crisis and failed to provide a solution for education within the crisis, resulting in a continuous examination delays. Failing to plan exams properly and make several changes result in the children being burdened. The Education Minister said that there was a teachers' strike regarding paper marking and other teachers' strikes resulted in the exam delay. These are lies. The exam department, Education Ministry and government does not have a plan regarding children's education.
ආණ්ඩුවට සැලැස්මක් නැහැ ළමයින්ගේ අධ්‍යාපනය සම්බන්ධයෙන්.
Chief incumbent of the Mihintale Rajamaha Viharaya, Venerable Walawa Hangunobave Dhammaratana Thero says the people and the religious leaders of the country must act as one force to uplift the country from the prevailing situation.
They are doing everything in their power to gain power. They are trying to create diversions among races and religions to stay in power.
ඒ හින්දා බුදුන් දකින්න ඇස් දෙකෙන් බුදුන් වඳින අත් දෙකෙන් ඉල්ලීමක් කරන සියලුම රටවැසියනි රැවටෙන්න එපා මම්මුලා වෙන්න එපා.
I urge the citizens of the country not to be deceived. Do not get involved with terrorists. These parties bankrupted the country. If the people are allowing these 225 MPs to take up the power, the country will be destroyed. If a religious leader is invoking blessings on a politician today, it is an act that goes against the people of the country. The religious leaders from all faiths and the people must unite. This is our country. Therefore, do not be deceived any further.
අපේ බලවේගය මේ රට අපේ කියන එක. ඒ හින්දා තවමත් රැවටෙන්න එපා.
Former Minister Johnson Fernando expressed the following views with regards to the online safety bill.
Former Minister Johnson Fernando, who is representing the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, which is a major party of the government, holds these views regarding the new laws.
Anything that spreads lies should be censored. It is not a good thing to engage in mudslinging. Anyone can sling mud and not face repercussions. They can post anything on Facebook, insulting others. The majority does it for money, representing someone. Anything that spreads lies should be stopped.
මොකද්ද මේකෙන් කරන්නේ? දැන් රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ තීරණය කරලා තියෙනවා.
What will happen through this? Ranil Wickremesinghe has decided to undermine Section 14/1 of the Chapter of Fundamental Rights in the Constitution and censor social media. Both of these collectively have 161 pages. The Constitution only has 141 pages. Ranil Wickremesinghe has taken more pages than the Constitution to suppress the people's right to expression. One of the IMF conditions is gazetting the Anti-Terrorism Act and the Online Safety Bill and passing it in Parliament. These two short-sighted acts, the two gazettes on the Anti-Terrorism Act and the Online Safety Bill, will be challenged in the Supreme Court by the lawyers of the Jatika Jana Balawegaya.
ජාතික ජන බලවේගයේ නීතිඥයෝ ලෙස ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨාධිකරණය අපි අභියෝගයට ලක් කරනවා.
Meanwhile, convening a media briefing, the Movement for People's Council said the new laws aims to suppress social media.
Nothing is being done when large-scale businessmen and rice mill owners loot from the innocent labourers and fishermen. Once the online safety bill gets enacted, those who point out mistakes will be thrown in jail for 5 years. The president and the government will decide what is wrong. These are being brought to suppress the people. They must be defeated. We must also defeat the condition of the IMF that came along with that.
The government that does not have the mandate of the people is trying to evade elections and unleash state terrorism on the people. They are trying to create fear and doubt among the people. The people are not able to assemble or express their opinions on social media over their phones. The government is intervening and trying to silence views made against them on social media.
The ICCPR Act was passed in Parliament without much opposition, but they used the third clause of the Act to suppress the people. The Public Property Act has been used to clearly stifle dissent. They used this Act on ragging to suppress university students. If the online safety bill is passed, then they will use the social media sphere to silence everyone who speaks against them.
උම්පත සම්මත වුණොත් මේ රටේ සමාජ මාධ්‍ය අවකාශය පාවිච්චි කළා මත හසුරවන මත ප්‍රකාශ කරන සියලුම දෙනාටම තමුගේ කටවල් වහගෙන ඉන්න වෙනවා. අපිට මේක ඔළුව නවාගෙන කට පියාගෙන ඉන්න කියලාද කියන්නේ?
Are they expecting us to sit back and stay silent? Are we allowed to speak up or express our sleeves on social media? What are we supposed to do while they are introducing these bills? Are they expecting us to do the same thing Tilipan did? What can the youth do against suppression? Even we don't know what we will do.
අපිට වෙන මොනවද කරන්න තියෙන්නේ කියන එක අපි මොනව කරයිද කියන එක අපිවත් දන්නේ නැහැ.
අපි අහන්නේ ප්‍රශ්නය ඇයි මේ හදිස්සිය මොකද මේ? දැන් කවුද ත්‍රස්තවාදීන් මේ රටේ? ත්‍රස්තවාදය ඉවර වුණා කියලා මේගොල්ලෝ කියනවා නම් ටයි කෝට් ත්‍රස්තවාදියා තමයි මේ ලිබරල් අංකල්.
What is the emergency situation? Who are the terrorists now? This liberal uncle with the tie and coat is the terrorist. It will be Ranil Wickremesinghe and the gang that will be deciding what the truth is. The liberal uncle will be appointing the 5 members of the committee. Is he trying to play the game JR played in the 80s, where he cancelled the elections and suppressed the parties that spoke up on behalf of the people?
JR ගේ සෙල්ලමටද මේ ලෑස්ති වෙන්නේ?
People's Tomorrow movement says that leaders are introducing such legislations for their own short-term political goals.
There is no responsibility on the leaders of this country. 5 people responsible for this country's economic downfall has been identified. Incorporate laws into the system through which they could be punished. Because of their careless actions, the hospitals in this country lack basic medicine till this date. This country is facing a downfall. These leaders show no interest in bringing laws to combat such issues. When 2 ships sank, the Minister of Justice said that there is insufficient legal grounds in the system to send a summons. Shouldn't the law be reformed? Shouldn't the laws be updated with new amendments to suit modern needs? That seems to be unimportant for today's leaders who prioritize bills such as the Anti-Terrorism Bill and now have introduced the Online Safety Bill. It is very clear that the rulers are bringing these laws for their own short-term political goals. However, many generations will have to suffer the consequences of their actions.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa says that he will create another Aragale movement to respond to the negative effects of the online safety bill.
The present government is making every attempt to restrict the people's freedom. Their most recent attempt is the online safety bill, through which they are trying to control all social media. I say to this government that we will not let this happen, and we will meet any such attempt with a strong opposing force. We don't know who and who will lose their positions as a result of it.
The Lawyers Collective has condemned the recent anti-terrorism and online safety bills. The Lawyers Collective condemns the latest version of the anti-terrorism bill and the online safety bill gazetted in September 2023. The Lawyers Collective says that the government of Sri Lanka has failed to respond to the serious and fundamental concerns raised about the anti-terrorism bill gazetted in March this year. It also says that the government failed to adopt any transparent and accountable process through which the bills were explained, justified and robust public consultation facilitated before they were gazetted. Moving along, two newborn twins who were receiving treatment at the neonatology unit of the Kalubuvila Teaching Hospital have died. The parents of the deceased twins have filed a complaint against the hospital administration regarding the incident.
The parents said the twins were born on the 9th of September and one of them died on the 18th. The parents said the other baby died early this morning. They said although the hospital administration stated the cause of their child's death on the 18th was respiratory difficulties, it cannot be accepted. They have complained to the hospital director and the police in this regard.
When my son died, they said you have your daughter. She has no issues, she is doing well and you can take her home. Yesterday when I went at 2 p.m. they said the child is doing well and they were keeping her till the completion of 34 weeks. No one at my ward knew. They had asked for me and told me to sit down. When I asked about my child, they said my child suddenly got fever yesterday and the blood count dropped and her heart stopped. I know she was not sick because they said she was doing well.
Till the day the second child died, there was no issue in the reports. They were all normal. But in the morning, they suddenly said she had passed away early morning and they hadn't even informed the ward. I only found out when I went in the morning. We want justice, so this doesn't happen to another child.
When inquired by News First, Deputy Director of the Kalubuvila Teaching Hospital, Dr. Niranjan Balakrishnan said the parents have lodged a complaint with the hospital authorities regarding the deaths. The Deputy Director said the report was forwarded to the Director General of Health Services.
News First with the people.
There has been much controversy on social media in recent days regarding the son of Minister of Foreign Affairs, President's Counsel Ali Sabri, participating in events held in line with the 78th session of the United Nations General Assembly. Minister Ali Sabri posted an explanation in this regard on his ex social media account, formerly known as Twitter. Foreign Minister Ali Sabri said, in addition to my responsibilities in assisting the President with his eye-level engagement, as a Foreign Minister, I maintain a demanding schedule during my visits to the UNGA and Washington DC. This itinerary comprises delivering 10 interventions and speeches, engaging in 3 public events and participating in numerous bilateral and multilateral meetings. He said the extensive workload necessitates through research, writing and meticulous preparations, adding that each minister benefits from a minister's bureau comprising both paid and voluntary contributors. The minister said that his son has assisted him as a research assistant and a draft writer on ad hoc voluntary basis at the minister's request for a period of time. Minister Sabri said during the UNGA, as he currently pursues his studies in the United States, he volunteered to join to contribute his time and expertise for a few days. He added, I am pleased to acknowledge that his contributions assisted me in preparing me for these crucial engagements. Importantly, neither the Foreign Ministry nor the government of Sri Lanka has expanded a single rupee on his behalf, either for his involvement in these engagements or at any other time. His contributions has been entirely voluntary, entailing zero cost to the taxpayer. Minister Sabri said he firmly believed that the public has every right to seek accountability from their representatives, and he is committed to providing the facts for the public's informed judgment. The Parliamentary Committee on Public Accounts advised Health Ministry officials and related institutes to rectify the mistakes of the management of the ministry. Moreover, the Auditor General has decided to conduct a separate audit regarding the purchase of medicines. The information was revealed when officials of the Ministry of Health and related institutions were called before the Committee on Public Accounts.
The poor state of management of the institutions attached to the Health Ministry was revealed before the Committee on Public Accounts.
Will you be doing a presentation on the cadre of the Health Ministry? There are 22,542 doctors in the Health Ministry. This included the doctors who left the country within the last 5 years. 163 doctors have resigned within this year. 197 doctors have resigned without issuing prior notice. You are talking about the hospitals. What about the Health Ministry? How many medical officers are working in the Health Ministry?
We have approved 37, but there are 97 doctors, which means there are 57 additional doctors.
I don't know whether this includes postgraduate trainees, but the postgraduate trainees are getting their salaries from the ministry. They will be employed for a temporary period. I accept that there are 37 additional doctors, as far as I know. There are more who are attached to some other units. I believe this is the issue. Is it true to say that as of December 31st, 2022, there are 62 additional doctors employed in the ministry? If there was an HR system in place, you will be able to say how many additional doctors are working for certain. Can you say that or not? I will be able to say a number close to the real number, but not the exact number. In a system, there cannot be a round-off number. Once a cut-off is given, you should be able to tell me. 10 doctors are presenting letters to go abroad. That number changes daily. Tell us exactly how many are in your cadre, how many additional doctors there are, and how many postgraduate trainees there are. Why can't you say that?
There
are many units. There are 9 DDGs working under me. Moreover, there are campaigns, namely malaria, ATB and HIV. There is a lot of technical work. A normal employee can't draft a letter. It must be a technical doctor. There are respective doctors for our units. They have not been approved. None of them are jobless. More than the issue of not getting the cadre approved, the burning issue is that you don't have information to present this to us. The truth is that there are some who are working after getting released. Intervene in this and transfer them to the right positions. We would stand with you if you had told us that you requested the cadre from the Finance Ministry, but you didn't get it. And because you couldn't abolish the services, you maintained it. We would have agreed with you. We are not joking with the health sector. The question we have is, who amongst you is saying that? The best solution to this is preparing a complete data system which updates with the positions of the employees.
News first with the people.
Deputy Leader of the Samagi Tharuna Balavegaya, Rehan Jayavikrama, expressed the following views regarding the incident involving Minister Ali Sabri's son.
Regarding the incident involving Minister Ali Sabri's son.
I saw an important person at the UN session. He was Bilal Sabri, the son of Minister of Ali Sabri. After we made his revelations, the minister released a statement saying that his son did not travel using public funds. He said that he took his son as a research assistant. Does he not have any shame? What qualifications does he have to work as a research assistant? There are young people from different parts of the country with 2 to 3 degrees and without jobs. Please resign from your national seat without making the situation worse.
තවත් හාරන් නැතුව මහත්තයෝ කරුණා කරලා ඔබතුමාගේ ජාතික ලයිස්තු අසුනෙන් ඔබතුමා ඉල්ලා අස්වෙන්න.
169th Annual General Meeting of the Planters Association of Ceylon was held in Colombo on Friday. Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to Sri Lanka, Her Excellency Dewi Gostina Doping, was the chief guest of the event.
The 169th Annual General Meeting of the Planters Association of Ceylon was held in Colombo with the participation of the Ambassador of the Republic of Indonesia to Sri Lanka, Her Excellency Dewi Gostina Doping, as the chief guest.
In Sri Lanka, the plantation industry has been facing many challenges as well, from shocks of COVID crisis, fertilizer shortage, to disruptions caused by economic downturn. Moreover, a recent report showed that one of the biggest challenges in the future is the shortage of labor across the plantation sector. If it is resolved, this situation may lead to further disruption. If it is not resolved, this situation may lead to the further disruption of production and export earnings, then impacted on revenues of the country. Similarly, those challenging situations have been also faced by the plantation sectors in other countries. In Indonesia, the plantation industry has been one of the pivotal sectors which contributes significantly to the economy, as also highlighted by Mr. Chairman. In 2021, the plantation industry contributed to the approximately 13% of Indonesian GDP, the second biggest share after manufacturing. Yet, the plantation sector's GDP in 2022 only grew by 1.6% from the previous year, which is far from the growth target rate of 5% set by the government. Therefore, those challenges might be able to be addressed through policies, one of which is strengthening the downstream industries in the economic sectors of plantation as a national economic power in the future.
Guest of honor, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Tea Board, Niraj Dimel, spoke about the challenges the tea industry of Sri Lanka faces at present.
And we are actually in a very competitive tea supply world. China takes account of 50% of the global cake in terms of production. India another 25%, and the balance 25% dominated by Kenya. We are also in that 25%. Actually sadly last year our percentage dropped even below 4% of the global cake. But thankfully, because of the heavy internal consumption in China and India, which is about 80% of their production in both those countries, and China themselves producing 80% green tea, we are a 11 to 14% stakeholder of the global supplies. We need to hold on to that. We need to get a better price for that, because it's only then that you can overcome your high cost of production. Whereas that worry is not there for the Indians, that worry is not there for the Kenyans. Their cost of production is way lower than what we are facing right now.
Senaka Alawathegama was selected as the new chairman of the Planters Association of Ceylon.
It's not just a water body or a tank or anything of that sort. It's much beyond that.
මේ වැවක තියෙන තත්ත්වයන් නෝකයි. ලෝක අපිට මේ ටැංකිය එක ගන්න බෑනේ. ඒ නිසා අත් වශයෙන්ම අපි කතා කරන අපි ලෝකෙට කියන්න මේක වැව කියන මේ වැව සංකල්පයක එක. වැව සිස්ටම් කියන්නේ.
It has been time tested. So sometimes thousands of years they tested it. And they found that is working.
Sri Lankan heritage offers a much deeper, longer lasting solution. Vavas weren't built in a day. It will take time, but the solution is permanent.
State Minister of Finance Shehan Semasinghe says all import restrictions apart from vehicle imports will be removed next month.
The foreign reserve levels are strengthening. We are maintaining close to 600 HS codes for import restrictions, except for 200 HS codes for vehicle restrictions. We will be able to remove all other import restrictions. It will be able to remove those import restrictions within next month. I hope this will assist price stability.
ඒක ලබන මාසෙ වෙද්දී නිදහස් වීම සිදු වෙයි. මම හිතනවා ඒ තුල මිලස්ථාවරත්වයට විශාල පිටුවහලක් ලැබේ.
10th installation ceremony of the NDB Toastmasters Club was held in Colombo yesterday.
President of NDB
The 10th installation ceremony of the NDB Toastmasters Club took place in Colombo with the participation of the Program Quality Director of the Toastmasters District 82, Ganga Fernando, as the guest of honor. Vice President of Group Human Resources of the National Development Bank PLC, Lasanta Dasanayaka, was the chief guest of the ceremony. Group Director of the Capital Maharaja Group, Shavan Daniel, delivered the keynote address. Kavinder Jayasinghe was the incoming president of the NDB Toastmasters Club for the years 2023-24. Toastmaster Dilrukshi Mervin was awarded the most outstanding Toastmaster of the year. The NDB Toastmasters Club, which has produced over 100 Toastmasters in Sri Lanka, has acquired the President Distinguished Honour by Toastmasters International and the Golden Club Award by Toastmasters District 82.
Secretary of Foreign Affairs Aruni Vijayawardena made Sri Lanka's statement at the conference on facilitating entry into force of the CTBT in New York yesterday.
Consistent with our long-standing support for nuclear disarmament and non-proliferation, Sri Lanka ratified the CTBT in July this year. We do acknowledge that our treaty ratification process has been overdue. Sri Lanka is pleased to have been selected to host the next on-site inspection integrated field exercise in 2025, which will bring together more than 180 technical experts and other participants from around the world. We also wish to highlight that the progress in non-proliferation and disarmament of nuclear weapons should go parallel to the expansion of international cooperation in peaceful uses of nuclear energy. While a moratorium on nuclear weapons testing is certainly a measure that is in the interests of our collective security, it is not a substitute for an internationally legally binding treaty against testing.
Today marks day 27 of the second leg of the LOLC Divisavya Social Welfare Program.
Under this worthy initiative, school books and equipment are gifted to students of schools with less than 100 students. Today's program was carried out centering the Trincomalee North and Trincomalee South education zones of the Trincomalee district. Accordingly, students of the Gomarang Khadavala Abetissa Vidyalaya, Kandamalava Vidyalaya, Kalyanapura Vidyalaya, Moravava North Sinhala Vidyalaya, Padavi Shripura Primary School, Paranamadavachiya Vidyalaya, Avenagar Government Tamil Vidyalaya, and Nalakudiyaru Government Muslim Vidyalaya were distributed schooling essentials at the respective schools and the Trincomalee Zonal Education Office. The LOLC Divisavya Social Welfare Program is carried out with the support of the Ministry of Education and is sponsored by the LOLC Group.
The Back to Faculty event organized by the Faculty of Management and Finance of the University of Colombo was held today.
The Back to Faculty event was held at the university premises today with the participation of alumni of the Faculty of Management and Finance of the University of Colombo. Vice Chancellor of the University, Senior Professor H.D. Karunaratna and several others were present at the event.
Shifting your attention to international news, the Sikh community in India has called for calm as tensions between New Delhi and Ottawa over a Sikh leader's death in Canada has inflamed bilateral relations.
Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's bombshell accusation of Indian involvement in the June 18th killing of Hardeep Singh Nijjar in British Columbia has escalated tensions, with both countries having expelled each other's diplomats. India, which angrily rejected the allegation as absurd, has also stopped issuing visas to Canadian citizens due to security threats. Trudeau, however, says he was not looking to provoke India, urging Indian officials to cooperate with the investigation into the killing. The Khalistan movement for an independent Sikh state in India peaked in the 1980s. It was quelled by force and most of its leaders are now said to be based in Canada, Australia and the UK. Back home, the Sikh community has warned against tensions boiling over. Speaking to foreign media, Avtar Singh Jr., a politician from Punjab, said people in Punjab are worried because both the countries have taken a tough stand. He said India and Canada should resolve the issue amicably. Avtar Singh Jr. said that he should have raised the issue at diplomatic levels with India behind the door. He added everyone is hopeful that things will surely improve. Sukhbir Singh Badal, president of a Sikh-centric political party in India, said he met Indian Home Minister Amit Shah and appealed to him to take necessary steps to ensure a quick resolution of the dispute with Canada.
A veteran US Senator has temporarily stepped down as the head of Chamber's powerful Foreign Relations Committee as he battles bribery charges.
Justice Department prosecutors allege Robert Menendez and his wife accepted hundreds of thousands of dollars in exchange for aid to Egypt's government. The couple have denied the charges. The embattled senator has rejected calls from fellow Democrats back in his home state of New Jersey to resign his seat. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer said on Friday that Menendez had decided to step down as chairman of the influential committee until the matter has been resolved.
In your sports news, the 54th leg of the Gamata Krida program organized by Sports First with the aim of taking talented athletes from the rural level to the national and international level was held today at the St. Sylvester's College, Kandy.
The Gamata Krida project organized by Sports First under the theme Apen Gamata Gamen Ratata is being sponsored by SLT Mobitel and Anchor. The training camp commenced today following the opening ceremony organized by the students of St. Sylvester College. A large crowd including veteran cricketer Malinda Varnapura, South Asian gold medal winning athlete Dilshi Kumarasinghe, director of Sri Lanka rugby tournament Shamrat Fernando, veteran football coach Renzi Wallace, principal Asel Rana Singhe, News First channel head Surangasena Nayaka, News First news director Gayan Sampath, News First News Director Vasanta Pradeep Masinghage and General Manager of SLT Mobitel Anuruddh Ratnayaka were present at the opening ceremony.
විශේෂයෙන්ම ශාන්ත සිල්වෙස්ටර් විද්‍යාලය කවදත් ක්‍රීඩාව මුල්
St. Sylvester's College is a school that prioritizes sports and has produced athletes who competed not only in this city but also at the national level. Today, through the Gamata Krida program, we have given you an opportunity for you to develop sports. Treat today as an important day in your life. Through Gamata Krida, Sports First hopes to give you the strength to provide leadership to the country in the future. We think it is an honor for SLT Mobitel to be part of such a great initiative. The aim of this is to remove the boundaries we have for sports and to modernize sports. Many of today's great sportsmen and women are those who come from the village. They had minimum opportunities, but they have performed well at international level.
This leg of the Gamata Krida training camp included 6 sports events including cricket, athletics, rugby, football, basketball and karate. Veteran coaches and athletes in the field contributed for this program. Nearly 500 athletes from many surrounding schools joined the program and had the opportunity to receive guidance from a group of veteran coaches. These are the views of athletes who came for today's program.
Sirasa TV does the Gamata Krida program well. I learned things I didn't know. This is truly valuable to us. I believe this will benefit hidden players and other players for their future. I learned many things and fixed my mistakes. I am thankful to Sirasa.
South Africa and Ireland, two of the favourites for the 2023 Rugby World Cup, will meet in a huge Pool B clash in France later today.
Incredibly important game coming up in the RWC, probably the most important pool game in this first round of the tournament. As we heard, Antoine Dupont from the French team, the captain, probably the best player in the world, has suffered an injury which might keep him out of the quarterfinal, which makes the result of this game even more interesting because previously every team would have wanted to avoid France in a quarterfinal, but now perhaps they don't want to avoid France as much. So this game is between Ireland and South Africa, the number 1 and number 2 in the world. That's going to be a huge clash, especially in a group stage with also the group includes Scotland. So it's not a foregone conclusion that the winner of this match will go through in number 1 position. So there's still a game against Scotland to come for Ireland. So lots of important stuff going on in this game. Here we see the South African team training behind me and having a lot of fun. The weather is not so good today, much better forecast for tomorrow, of course, and we hope that forecast holds true. But this is going to be the absolute pinnacle of group rugby in this Rugby World Cup. It is the biggest game that we can see in the world as number 1 plays 2, and of course the biggest clash in this group B, and of course the biggest clash in the World Cup, which will go a long way in deciding the fate of who wins this World Cup, because the quarterfinal clashes that this sets up are going to be something that the tournament has been looking forward to for a long time. So Ireland playing South Africa tomorrow, it's going to be an important game. Both teams hugely physical, both teams also looking very smart, and Paul O'Connell was talking mostly about the smarts that South Africa brings rather apart from just their physical prowess. So let's wait and see how this turns out.
The highly anticipated match between South Africa and Ireland will be telecast on TV1 at 12 midnight on Saturday. It will also be streamed live on www.citisatv.lk.
From that, we bring to a close this edition of Primetime News on TV1. For details of the stories and much more, simply log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk. For the News First, where the people come first, I'm Martin Satyanes, and you take care and good night.